Good morning, Scott here, known as Cantaloupe to some online, and I'm bringing a video to you on a subject that's interesting to me. It might be of interest to you or someone you know, and I want to respond to a comment I read recently online about women's dresses being, quote unquote, for easy access. I think this is a terrible way to look at dresses. First of all, you're assuming something incorrectly about all women who wear dresses. Second of all, I don't wear dresses, obviously. Oh, maybe that's obvious. I'll just tell you straight out, I don't wear dresses. But if I were a woman wearing a dress, there would be a lot of reasons for that, not the least of which is to be comfortable and to enjoy nice weather, to feel, the airflow and to feel good about myself being, beautiful in a nice piece of clothing, perhaps something of color. But I don't think that anywhere near the top of my list would be easy access. I think that that's just an awful way to look at it. And if you're looking at women that way as being tools for your own personal gratification, and that's the function of the clothing they wear, I think that you have a criminal attitude, and that's going to get you in trouble eventually. There's, like I said, a lot of other reasons why people do things, and it's not to satisfy you as a person, as an individual. It's not to serve you somehow. And this is a bigger subject, actually, the subject of subverting the will of other people towards your own, to make people a tool of your own purposes, to get other people to extend you, to give people an opportunity to gain your permission if you involve them in your life or if you allow them to be involved in your life. All of these things completely discount the fact that other people are their own people with their own schedules, with their own volition, regardless of their age or circumstances. Every single person has their own program to work on. And I think the best way to look at it is that other humans have, they share a space, right? So we figure out how to get that space shared most effectively and peacefully, but that doesn't mean that everybody just does what you want. That doesn't mean that people are here to help you achieve your goals or to be your employees without an agreement. The agreement is very important. And another connected subject is employment versus empowerment. And the word employment has become normalized, unfortunately, but if you look at the concept of employment, it's untoward. You're subverting another person, usually against their will for lack of other options, to do something that you want them to do or that your business wants them to do, not something that they would choose for themselves. They rent a space perhaps in a cubicle or, at their job site, and they do what they have to do to survive, but they are extending someone else, not their own purposes, by way of renting that space. So back to the original subject. Women's dresses. I love to see women being comfortable and feeling safe at all times. But in order to do that, you have to understand and acknowledge that their freedom and their choice is the highest concern. I mean, you can have consent implicitly. That means it doesn't need to be stated verbally or in writing, but it does have to exist. And here's the point of confusion, I think. And my final point here is there has to be consent. That's an agreement. Somebody who is interested categorically in you and hanging out with you, being around you, having your attention directed in their direction. But that's not a given. That's not a given. They don't owe you anything. Women don't owe you anything necessarily until they decide to, and that is also subject to change. It is. Even after they marry you. I'm sorry to say, every day is a new chance to turn it all around in either direction. And I will speak to the marriage commitment that it does mean something as a public declaration of something that two people have discovered between themselves, right? They've discovered that they want to spend their lives together, so they declare it publicly and officially on record, usually with a courtroom or courthouse or ship's captain, what have you. But it's just a declaration of the spirit of the arrangement and the agreement. It doesn't mean that they owe you anything. You can rape your spouse. You can always rape your spouse still. It's a crime. Being married, for example, isn't a license to abuse people or assume things about their interest. You still have to have consent for sex, etc. Anything that involves other people's personal space, their property, or their logical choices that they should be making for themselves. Again, regardless of age, they've got their own schedule, whether it's complicated or not. You should aim to get their consent to do anything that involves other people, unless they are your dependents. There are a couple of edge cases. Obviously, if you have children and it's a matter of life and death, you have to get things done. Obviously, sometimes children need to be moved from place to place. That's allowable. You can override their consent in those cases. It's not complicated, and people try to make it complicated. And then they get confused and they say, well, it's all a matter of opinion. There is no right and wrong, so I'm just going to start looking at people as objects. I'm going to start looking at people as means unto my own ends. I'm going to look at women's dresses as being primarily for quote-unquote easy access. But what that turns you into is a douchebag and a misogynist. So please, remember, it's about her feeling good about herself primarily. It's about feeling comfortable, being beautiful, and once you understand all that, maybe there will be more to it. Reach out if you like with questions or comments to whitehotrobot@gmail.com. Thank you.